How's it going, Dopamon fans? The NHL trade deadline is coming up tomorrow, so if you've been following along, you know we've been going team by team, breaking down every trade. And now we're on to the Florida Panthers, who've made 4 trades the past few days. 2 big ones, 2 small ones, but before we break them down for you, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We're Dopamon. We talk hockey news, analysis, mock drafts, scouting reports, and we are now covering the trade deadline. So Ryan, why don't you hit us with the first trade?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here, so we'll do it two trades at a time because they kind of all feed into each other. The first trade they made was on March 16th. They sent Frank Vatrano to the New York Rangers in exchange for a conditional fourth round pick. The conditions was at the time of the trade, the Rangers owned their fourth round pick, and Winnipeg's fourth. The pick transferred will be the lower of the two. The conditions on these picks going forward here gets a little complicated, so I'll just read what Cap Friendly has and let people try to interpret as they go. The second trade made that day was acquiring defenseman Ben Chairot at 50% retained from the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for Ty Smilanic, that 2022 fourth round pick, the Rangers, and the 2023 first round pick owned by them. The condition on that first round pick is that it is top 10 protected, and if they drop off, then it just gets bumped a gear. We'll start with those two. Anywho, starting with Frank Vatrano.
I feel like Vetrano's a guy that kind of fell off of like the Florida Panthers, depth chart. He kind of has a role, doesn't have a role. I think there's a lot more to him that is like untapped in Florida. That maybe a change of scenery in New York, it's a different kind of role, and I think he could really thrive. Maybe be a type of 20 goal scorer kind of guy and achieve that potential of his.
Yeah, we haven't talked at all about the New York Rangers trade needs. They're very good, but they lack goal scoring depth. They're essentially four people. They're Panarin, Strome,
Zibanejad.
Zibanejad, and Kreider. That's it. It is like 90% of their production comes from those four guys. So getting a guy like Frank Vatrano is really good. He's a shooter first. He's always had more goals and assists throughout his whole career. And yeah, like you said, he kind of fell off Florida's depth chart, especially with the kind of people they've been getting. And he's a little bit of a cap relief for them too. $2.5 million this year. Not a whole lot, but just straight cap hit is great. UFA, so they would have had to resign him for more, so they wouldn't have been able to get him under contract. This was the guy that was the odd man out, 1,000,000%. Already scored a goal in New York, so there you go. He's already producing. The big
Yeah,
guy.
it's a W for both teams in my opinion. That's both, you clear space, you get the pick, and the Rangers get what they need.
Yeah, exactly. Fair trade, I think, for both. Big trade of the day for this, though, is Ben Chairot, who went for a absolutely ridiculous package. We talked a little bit about it in our Leafs video, our predictions, our trade ideas. Ben Chairot was on that list because he was highly connected to the Leafs. I wasn't a huge fan of trading for Ben Chairot. I think he's way too overpriced for what he is. Good playoff guy, and if the Leafs play the Florida Panthers, I'm going to be big pissed, but because he's obviously going to be the best player on the team for Florida if the Leafs play him. Is what he is, built for the playoffs, strong in front of the net, takes a lot of minor penalties. The piece going back, the main piece, other than the first round pick, is prospect, and it was a guy that me and you both like from the 2020 draft. It's Ty Smilanic of Quinnipiac University.
Yeah, we both thought maybe he could have slipped into the first round of that draft, but ultimately we both had him in the second, I believe.
Yeah, he was in my mid second ish
Hmm.
for me. I think he was a little higher for you.
Yeah, there's definitely a chance for him to. There's definitely an NHL player in there somewhere. So we'll see if he can be like a 1B kind of center, maybe a third line center somewhere. Maybe move him to the wing. He's got a lot of everything. I really like him. I think he's going to be a huge piece in Montreal going forward. They have a lot of good young talent, and he's going to be a complementary piece to all of that. Um, and that 2023 first, that's a huge return too. But I think that we're seeing that the trade value and demand for defensemen right now are is like really, really, really high compared to what is was almost expected of their value.
Yeah, it's way higher than it should be for
Hmm.
defensemen. The market is crazy right now. But yeah, those are the first two trades. The biggest trade, though, and you can talk about,
Hmm.
you can give us the next two trades here.
Yeah, the next two
Insane.
trades. Yeah, a few days after. That was, of course, March 16th. We are breaking into the trade deadline on March 21st right now. So on March 19th, the Florida Panthers traded with the Philadelphia Flyers to acquire Claude Giroux in exchange for Owen Tippet, first round pick in 2024, a third round pick in 2023, and in addition, the Florida Panthers acquired two 23-year-olds, German Rubstov and Connor Bunneman, and as well a fifth round pick in 2024. But that's just a random pick in there.
Yeah, and I think people were kind of taken off guard with this trade from what Philly was able to get for Claude Giroux. And
Hmm.
apparently, it was because Giroux held all the cards. He
Hmm.
only apparently only wanted to go to Florida. There was deals that were apparently better deals on the table from both the Colorado Avalanche and the Boston Bruins, and I'm sure there's some unreported deals that were even better than this one. Not a whole lot of return for Claude Giroux, but still get something for him. Owen Tippett, not sure what he could be in Philly. But a first round pick is a first round pick, so it's magic
Hmm.
beans. Uh, Connor Bunneman played 15 games, -7 for Philly. Uh, 18 the year before, 21 the year before. Only 3 points in 54 games. Not a great offensive guy. From Guelph, Ontario, 23 years old, like you said, was initially a fourth round pick. German Rubtsov is the bigger deal the other way, I think. Was he 20?
Personally, yeah, I've
Yeah.
always found his game to really fit the Russian style of game, and it just hasn't translated to like the North American style. There's something about his game that just doesn't fit. He's not able to score here, but he's able to score in the KHL. And I don't know if it's going to be a change of scenery. I don't know if that's really going to work for him. I feel like he's kind of just who he is. Maybe he has something with the Florida Panthers. Maybe they can make it work. But I actually I feel like Bunneman maybe could slide into like a 13th forward, 12th forward kind of role for the Florida Panthers before Rubstov does. I don't think his NHL potential is really there right now personally.
No, they're just 23. They just meant, I guess, for contracts or cap or whatever else it was. Just extra guys, just in case kind of players and
Hmm.
players, for big time depth. The biggest piece player wise, Owen Tippett going the other way. I thought for sure that a guy like Anton Lundell would be going the other way, like that kind of prospect. It's been very good this year, but I guess because Giroux kind of trapped the Philadelphia Flyers there, they only get Owen Tippett, who is 23 years old, was a 10th overall pick a few years ago, but hasn't quite been able to, bring it for the Florida Panthers. And only, a career high 7 goals in 45 games. Uh, Played in Charlotte this year. Yeah, I don't know. Owen Tippett. I don't know what he could be for the next few years for Philly, but he's the main
Hmm.
piece.
Yeah, there is a lot of skill there, but that uncertainty on, is he gonna be a top six guy? Is he, a real NHL, top kind of prospect? And Claude Giroux is amazing. He's gonna fill in on the Florida Panthers on the wing, down the middle if they need him to, and oh, that could be
Yeah,
a that top line could be incredibly scary.
Florida terrifies me now because they've just added Claude Giroux, who's a 900 point career player in 1,000 games, one of the best forwards of his generation, into a team that was already one of the best offensive teams in the league.
Mhm.
There was a while, a week or two ago, when they were winning every game 6-1. Like they were just beating up on teams. And now they've added Claude Giroux to that lineup. So it's a
Mhm.
little
And
bit,
that's certainly an improvement on Frank Vatrano too, right?
certainly, yeah.
That's just like if that wasn't scary enough, like a huge improvement. And also, I didn't talk about the last trade that they made.
Yes.
The day after, so now it's yesterday, but on March 20th, the Sunday, uh, Florida Panthers acquired Robert Hagg from the Buffalo Sabres for a sixth round pick, which belongs to Calgary. Originally belonged to Calgary.
Yeah.
And that's it
Robert Hagg,
for that trade.
yeah, just a depth guy. Played in Philly for a long time. 8 points in 48 games from Buffalo this year. Not too bad. Just a depth guy. Something we didn't mention, and I'll flip over to Florida's cap friendly page now, is the other night, Aaron Ekblad was injured, and they put him on LTIR, which essentially he's going to be out until the playoffs, or he was already going to be like, day to day, week to week kind of deal. But $7.5 million, all of a sudden, they can add a lot more depth pieces now, and they're able to, that Vatrano trade didn't end up to be super necessary, but now they can even go out and get more if they wanted to, more depth guys. This
Mhm.
team is terrifying. It already took the defending cup champions last year. It was 7 games to take this team out, or 6
Yep.
games. It was a hard fought series, that first round series. They're going for it. 1,000,000% they're going for it. And I think they realize that this year might be their year to really pull this off. All these guys, on decent contracts. Barkov is getting a huge raise next year.
And they've given up the draft picks as well.
Yeah, at least scroll up and look at their draft capital. They've
They
been
have one second
pillaged.
round pick
They've been
next
absolutely
year.
pillaged. Have all of their late picks. If I hide us here, they have all of their late picks. So they're gonna have to get really, really creative in their draft picks going forward. But they're going for it. Screw it. Why not? You haven't won a playoff series since the mid '90s. It's the only team that I as a Leafs fan, I can point at. Yeah, this team is terrifying. Look at this
Mhm.
4 group: Reinhardt, Barkov, Huberdeau, Hornquist, Bennett, Giroux, all the way down the list. Duclair, Verhaeghe's been insane. Lundell, Mason Marchment, Joe Thornton. I always forget that he's on this team because he's kind of been a healthy scratch. The defensive group is deep with Uyghur and Ekblad. And Brandon Montour's all right. And Terry Lindbaum is even like, there's the depth from this team. If Sergei Bobrovsky can play like Sergei Bobrovsky in the playoffs, oh my God. And Ben
And now
Chairot.
they've added Chiarot, yeah,
And now they
to
forgot
the list.
they've added
And Haig.
Chiarot to the list. You'll get Ekblad back. It's and Haig. It's insane. This team is insane, and they're gonna run away with the East. I think now, as far as the regular
Mhm.
season goes. What do you think? What do you think of the Florida
I
Panthers?
think it is very hard to be like, which team won a trade, but they have all the pieces right now. They're stacked up. They have the depth. They have like overflowing in depth at, in top 6, bottom 6, middle 6, everything. Elite talents pouring out the Huza. Like they have everything, and you of most teams have a need and Florida does not. And if there is, a question for, the Stanley Cup contender, like the most likely to win, I think that the trade deadline here has shown that the Florida Panthers are it.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to beat Florida. It really
Hmm.
is. It's gonna be really hard to beat Florida. So yeah, those are all the trades that they've made so far. If they make any other trades over the next uh, 24 hours or so, or less
We'll be
than
here to
that,
break it down.
we'll be here to break it down. And yeah, let us know what team you want to see, what trades you want us to talk about. Leave a like on this video if you made it this far. And yeah, subscribe to the channel. We got some dope hockey stuff here. And we like talking hockey with all you people, and it's great. Everything else, Alex?
Nope.
Alrighty, until next time. Peace.